What baby name do you think got ruined by pop culture, trends, or current events? As a former teacher, anything with Aiden in it. Jaden, Hayden, Caden, Braden. You get the idea. Elsa. Not necessarily ruined, but you cannot separate it from Frozen. I can't imagine that Donald will be a very popular name for the next several decades, or at least it will quickly identify the families you want to avoid. Jaqueline, where is my Jaqueline at? Kermit. I saw an old episode of Bewitched, which had a character with this name and it seemed odd for a non-frog. Nivea. It's so corny and pretentious now. And yes, everyone knows it's heaven spelled backwards. Betty was an unfortunate name to have when I was a teen and Ugly Betty was on. I think the show is old enough now that it won't register with Gen A kids and beyond. Harvey Hurricane and Sex Offender Double Tap. We love the name Ophelia from Pan's Labyrinth. I preferred spelling it with PH, too many people have asked if we like Taylor Swift. Is it baby names week in all the little karma farming clubs? I feel bad for any children named Khaleesi before the final season of Game of Thrones came out. Adolf means noble wolf, which is objectively a kick-ass name, but because of that fascist fuck no one uses it anymore. I don't think it was ever a trendy name, but men have been named Donald after a relative for a long time and I think that's done for a while, but on the flip side, Hillary was one of the fastest falling names off the top 1000 list in the history of tracking names back in the early 90s. For a while it was Ross and Rachel. My friend named his daughter, Alexa, right before Amazon introduced you-know-who. Felicia for a time. I worked at Taco Bell in high school. GM told us we couldn't say, "Bye Felicia," to a coworker named Felicia. Not really an answer to this question, but I feel bad for anyone with the last name Epstein for the next several years. Ursula. Means little she-bear. I would love to use it as a name but that darn sea witch prevents me. Kaylee. It's actually a nice name but now I can't help but think it's a tragedy like Bradley, Brittany, Serendipity. Harry, Ron, Hermione. Adam and Eve. I dated a girl who had an older brother named Adam. Her mom wanted to name her Eve. Fortunately her dad won and named her Michelle. Alexa, oof, we say Martha when we are talking about her. We also have a Ziggy and an Echo, but Alexa is so sensitive lol. Karen. My mother is a lovely woman forever ruined by cranky women with bad haircuts. Luna. For a hot second every little girl was named Luna. Khaleesi completely ruined for me, thanks Game of Thrones. Has the name Monica made a comeback yet? That name took a double hit in the 90s. Karen got hit so hard by the internet that an entire generation probably won't touch it. Not that they were good names beforehand but all the babies with Game of Thrones names is very unfortunate. Taylor. Not ruined but it will never not be associated with Taylor Swift. Not a lot of baby Adolfs running around. Don't see too many Adolfs anymore. Scotty. Doesn't know. Haven't heard someone name their kid Brittany. I can't help but think about all the poor Karens. I know a Daenerys who is Denise now. Glad her parents changed her name before primary school. Karen Elsa Arya Alexa Donald Taylor Ophelia Opal Isis. Many people loved the name Isis long before current events completely changed how everyone hears it now. Alexa went from a beautiful name to a lifetime of hearing people ask you to turn on the lights. Lance became pretty gay. Chloe, Tiffany, ugh, Trump vibes. Definitely Melania. Elsa was perfectly normal until every kid on Earth suddenly wanted to let it go. Karen.it was a completely normal name for decades, then internet culture turned it into a stereotype and changed how people hear it almost overnight. ISIS. Way to ruin a pretty name, terrorists. Before the clown, Bozo used to be a fairly common Italian name. It's just about extinct now. Charlie. I used to think that was such a cute name for a boy and a girl but I wouldn't even name a goldfish Charlie now. Alexa. My cousin named her daughter that in 2012 and now every time someone talks to the kid the smart speaker in the next room starts playing music. Alexa. Every time someone says it now, three smart speakers wake up and a little girl sighs. Donald. That one will never come back to general acceptance. Alexa completely destroyed a perfectly beautiful name, turning it from a classic choice into a constant household voice command trigger. In modern fantasy/literature/progression fantasy/sci-fi, I don't think ever read anyone named Derek who isn't a dick/baddie. Luna. All I can think about is a dog or cat when I hear that name. All the kids who were being named Khaleesi before Game of Thrones ended up. Named my daughter Siri in 2010. She was 1 year old when Apple decided her name belonged to a phone. She's 14 now and still hasn't forgiven me. Lolita has never recovered. Karen honestly never stood a chance once the internet got a hold of it. Eventually, all of them. I know a young man named Kevlar. Isn't this the third time we've seen this question in less than 12 hours? Nimrod being a common name until Bugs Bunny called Elmer Nimrod while making fun of his poor shooting aim. Isis Alexa Karen. When Madison got popular in the early aughts, all I could think about was the scene in Splash. But I don't think anyone was naming their kid after a mermaid movie from 20 years before. All I know is that Bela Lugosi starred as Dracula in a motion picture produced nearly a century ago, and now almost everyone on Earth has at least one pet named Bella. Hell, even my buddy's little sister named her daughter Bella over 20 years ago. Damn, I used to like that name too, now it just feels weird everywhere I hear it. Any normal name that got the R/Tragedy treatment. Iva, Rubikarg, Jackson, Jasarn, you get the picture. Kevin. At least here in Germany. It's kind of our version of Chad. Else is such a beautiful name, but I think Frozen has ruined it. For all you adults out there named Ares, or Aerith, I'm sorry your parents wanted you to get stabbed. At the time, Piper. I love Piper as a name, but at the time everyone was naming their kids Piper. Shocked I haven't seen Mickey on here. Love the name, but all I ever think of is that damn mouse. Khaleesi became trendy because of pop culture and then taken out by that same pop culture. Angela, because of Angela Merkel. Around 2015 I went to a campus lab and met a very nice woman in her 20s named Isis. Very bad timing for that name. Karen, Alexa, Isis, Donald, etc. Simba and Mufasa. Curses to Disney. Harvey, the hurricane, and the Weinstein sexual predator. Both had gone on at the time we were naming our child, so we decided against it. Not really a recent event, but good luck finding any Adolfs. Especially in Germany. Bella. I think it's an adorable name, but nope. How current are you talking, because I haven't seen an Adolf in the West for a long time. Jessica, it's not the new Karen. Ebenezer thanks to the Christmas Carol. It's so unfortunate too, because what people take away from that story was that Scrooge was a miserable old man who was very miserly rather than a man finding the need to better himself and doing so by becoming one of the most helpful people in the city. Ebenezer literally means, stone of help.